Hi everyone, so this is part of our Korean for Absolute Beginners 1 course from Korean Studio. And as the name of the course would suggest, this is for absolute beginners. So for people who have never learned Korean before, who are interested and don't know where to begin, then this is a good starting point. I hope you enjoy the course, and if you like what you watched and are interested in more, then do visit our website. The link to the website is down below somewhere. Hope you enjoy the course. Bye for now. Hi there, so this video is all about the Korean alphabet, which is called Hangul. Hangul was created in the 15th century by Sejong Daewang. Sejong is the king's name, Dae means great, and Wang means king, hence the name Sejong Daewang. Now if you ever get a chance to visit Seoul, you'll see a great big gold statue of Sejong Daewang near Gyeongbok Palace. Now linguistically, Hangul is a relatively new writing system. But spoken Korean has existed for thousands of years before. Prior to Hangul, Koreans used Chinese characters for reading and writing. But Chinese characters are based on meaning rather than sound. So you can learn to read one character, but that only means you've mastered one character, and you have to learn thousands more to be able to read Chinese proficiently. As a result, illiteracy was common in Korea, and that's why Sejong Daewang created Hangul, an alphabet system based on sound rather than meaning to enable Koreans to be able to read. The announcement of Hangul's creation was published in a document titled Hunmin Jeongum, the proper sounds of the education of the people. And the date of its publication, October 9th, is Hangul-날, Hangul Day in Korea. And this day is a public holiday, so Koreans have more than one reason to be thankful to King Sejong. Okay, so I think that's enough history lesson. Now the important thing I want to tell you is that Hangul is relatively easy to learn because similar to the Roman alphabet, it's made up of consonants and vowels. In Korean, there are 19 consonant letters and 21 vowel letters. Now in terms of actual number of letters, Hangul has more than English, as English has 21 consonants and 5 vowels. However, the two languages are very similar in terms of the number of consonant and vowel sounds, as Korean generally has the same number of sounds as the letters in Hangul, and English has 24 consonant sounds and 20 vowel sounds. So to read Korean, you have to learn the consonant and vowel letters, and then learn to combine them to make the proper sounds. Being able to read is an advantage when trying to learn a language, as once you can start reading, you can find any Korean text and start reading, and this will help you to develop vocabulary knowledge more quickly. Therefore, as you begin your journey to learn Korean, we want to help you develop your reading skills first, as this will help you to develop more quickly in the future. Great! Before we start learning how to read Korean, in the next lesson, we'll look at how Korean syllables are formed. I'll see you in that lesson. Bye-bye. Hi, and welcome to the lecture on Korean syllable formation. Now, Korean is what we call a syllabic timed language, as opposed to English, which is called a stress-timed language. In English, within a word with many syllables, we place greater emphasis on certain syllables. And these syllables with greater emphasis are called strong sounds, and the less emphasized syllables are called weak sounds. The emphasis on strong sounds is called stress, hence the name stress-time language. Take a look at this sentence. This is a problem. This is a problem. When we say this sentence, we put more emphasis on the word this and the first syllable of problem. And other words and syllables become weak sounds. So we say, this is a problem. This is a problem. However, Korean language puts more or less equal emphasis on every syllable. There is no strong sound or weak sound in Korean. And this aspect of pronunciation is perhaps the single biggest difference between Korean and English. And this difference is also reflected in the way Hangul is written. Hangul is written in blocks of syllables. Each block contains a combination of consonants and vowels. The basic construct of Korean syllables is a consonant and a vowel combination, a CV combination. Here's an example. Ka, ka. This syllable is made up of the consonant letter 기역 and the vowel sound a. So together, this syllable is read ka, ka. In ka, the vowel letter a is positioned next to the consonant. However, in some syllables, the vowel letters can be positioned below the consonant letter. Here's an example. 구, 구. This syllable is made up of the consonant letter 기역 and the vowel sound u. So this syllable is 구, 구. Vowels that have a horizontal bar are always positioned below the consonant, whereas vertical vowels, such as a, are positioned next to the consonant. Now, one other important difference to note is that unlike English syllables, which can begin with a vowel letter, such as ant or ear, Korean syllables must begin with a consonant letter. So do keep that in mind. Now, Korean syllables can also have a CVC combination, a consonant-vowel-consonant combination. Here's an example. 감, 감. Here we have the consonant letter 기역, the vowel letter a, and a consonant letter 미음. When we have a CVC combination, the final consonant letter is always positioned at the bottom of the syllable. So everything has to be squeezed in a little to fit them in a syllable block. This final consonant letter is called 받침, 받침, which literally translates to support. 받침 is a really important concept in Korean, as it can dictate which particles are used with certain nouns, and it's also related to the pronunciation of Korean. Finally, we can also have a CVCC combination, a consonant-vowel, consonant and consonant combination. And the final CC part is called 겹받침, and it translates to layered support. In Korean, there are altogether 11 types of 겹받침, and 겹받침 are always made up of two different consonants. Now, the important thing to note with 겹받침 is that we only pronounce one of the two consonants in the 겹받침. For example, this word is made up of the consonant 디귿, the vowel a, and the 겹받침 리을 기역. And 리을 is similar to the English L, and 기역 is similar to the English G. But when we read this word, 리을 is silent, and we only pronounce the 기역. So this is read 닭, 닭. In the old days, when Korean was first created, rather than sounding out one consonant only, these 겹받침 were a blend of the two consonants. But in modern Korean, we only read one consonant. So in these 8 겹받침, we read the first consonant, and in these 3 겹받침, we read the second consonant. Now, in the next unit, we will start learning all the different letters in Hangul, but I think it's good to have an overview of how Korean syllables are formed before then. In the next lecture, we will take a look at how Hangul is written. See you soon again. Bye-bye. Hi there, and welcome to the video on how to write Hangul. Now, the basic concept of writing Hangul is that every writing stroke has to go from either left to right or top to bottom. And what that means is that no stroke can ever go from right to left or bottom to top. So the starting point of any stroke is the most top left point of a letter, or wherever it is that allows you to follow the principles of left to right and top to bottom. So here's how you write 디귿. As you can see, we first write left to right. Then in one stroke, we go top to bottom and then left to right. Now, wherever possible, mostly for efficiency reasons, we would complete the lines in one stroke, as long as we're following the principles of left to right and top to bottom. Let's look at another example. This time it's 리을. Now, obviously, this one has more lines than before. But again, we start from the top left point and we go left to right and then top to bottom in one stroke. And we can do that because we're following the principles of left to right and top to bottom. Then as you can see, we come back to the left again so that we can go from left to right in a single stroke. And since we can't continue the stroke from this point, we come to where the stroke began, and the third stroke moves from top to bottom and then left to right in one stroke to complete the consonant. Again, the important aspect of this is that we're continuously following the principles of left to right and top to bottom. Let's look at some vowels. First, we have the vowel ah. This is fairly simple. We go top to bottom, and as we can't continue the stroke, we come back to the middle point and complete the vowel with another stroke, this time left to right. Let's look at a slightly more complex vowel. This vowel is wa. We still follow the same principle, but we begin with this stroke from top to bottom. Then we come back to this point and make the second stroke left to right. Then we go to the top to bottom here, and the fourth stroke completes this vowel with a left to right. And again, just to reiterate, the key to writing Hangul is that every stroke goes from left to right and top to bottom. The principles of left to right and top to bottom is something every Korean learns when they start to learn Hangul. And in all of our video lessons on consonants and vowels, there are short video clips showing you how to write all the letters. And there are also writing worksheets which you can download and practice writing Hangul by yourself. Okay, so the next lesson is our first lesson on learning Hangul. And we'll begin with consonants. I'll see you in that lesson. Bye-bye. Hi everyone, so before we get into the actual lessons on learning about Hangul, I wanted to explain a little bit about Korean pronunciation. Now, the major aim of this course is for you to learn the Hangul letters so that you can start reading Hangul, which ultimately will help you to learn Korean more quickly. And in order to learn the Hangul letters, I'll point out a Roman alphabet letter that produces a similar sound to the Hangul letter so that we can make that connection and learn the letters quickly. However, there is a slight problem with this because ultimately Korean consonants don't match up well with consonants in the Roman alphabet. So I'm going to explain why they don't match up well so that you have a better idea of how Korean consonant sounds are produced, and also so that you're not confused when I say this sounds like this in English, but then it sounds a little different. Okay, so to better understand the differences in the sounds of consonants in Hangul and the Roman alphabet, we need to understand two very important concepts related to how the sounds are produced. One is the concept of voiced and voiceless consonants, and the other is whether a consonant sound is an aspirated sound or an unaspirated sound. Now, when a consonant sound is voiced, it means that the sound is produced by vibrating the vocal cords. And this also means that a voiceless consonant sound is produced without vibrating vocal cords. So in English, these are the voiced consonants, and these are the voiceless consonants. Quite often, to find out whether a consonant is voiced or voiceless, if you put your hand on your throat and make a voiced consonant sound, you should feel some vibration. Whereas for voiceless consonants, there is no vibration. Let's try that together. Let's try to say the voiced TH sound. It's and now let's try to say the voiceless TH sound. Can you feel the contrast? So it's Now, the second important concept is whether a consonant sound is an aspirated sound or an unaspirated sound. An aspirated consonant sound is produced with a burst of air coming out of your mouth. A typical example of this is the K sound in English. When you say K, k, just before the sound is produced, you should feel air pressure build up as your tongue blocks the air passing through. And the K sound is produced when your tongue makes way for the air to pass through. This blocking of air can happen with the tongue, as in the K sound, but it can also happen with your lips, such as it does for the P sound. P, P. Now, one thing to note is that in general, it's difficult to make a distinction between aspirated sounds and unaspirated sounds, because most sounds are aspirated. The question is more to do with whether a sound is heavily aspirated or very lightly aspirated. In English, the sounds most commonly associated with being aspirated sounds are H, P, T, and K. So we now have good awareness of the two very important concepts related to how the consonant sounds are produced. Now the big question is, how are Korean consonant sounds different from English consonant sounds? Let's find out. To understand why and how Korean consonants are different from English consonants, let's do a comparison of the English letters G and K and the Korean consonant letters Kiok and Kiuk. Now, if we put G and K in a range of aspiration, K is a moderately aspirated sound, so we'll put it here. And G is a very lightly aspirated sound, so we'll put it here. So where do the Korean consonants go in this range? First, kiuk is the most heavily aspirated sound of these four consonants, so it goes here. And kiuk is mildly aspirated consonant, so we'll put it between G and K. So as you can see, all four consonants are aspirated differently. Also, the only voice consonant is the G sound in English. Listen to me saying these four consonants and see if you can hear the difference. Ga, ga, ka, 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 ka. Okay, so were you able to tell the difference? Now, because the G sound is a voice consonant, it means that the sound is produced with vocal cord vibration. So therefore the sound comes more deep within the throat. And because kiok sound is moderately aspirated, it has a slight hint of the K sound as well as the G sound. Lastly, the distinction between K and kiok are mild, but you should feel extra burst of air when you say the kiok sound because the release of air for the kiok sound is more explosive than the K sound. So in the next lesson, while we do designate the letter G as a sound that's similar to the kiok sound in Hangul, there is some difference in the way these sounds are produced. And in truth, the kiok sound is somewhere between the G and the K sound in English. This type of comparison between English consonants and Korean consonants can be made with all the other consonant letters. And we've made a reference sheet which you can refer to check how the Korean consonant sounds are produced. So as I mentioned earlier, the major focus of this course is on learning the letters in Hangul. But I wanted to highlight the key differences in the consonant sounds in English and Korean so that you're better able to sound out the letters you're learning in this course. Okay, so that's it for this lesson. In the next lesson, we'll start learning the letters in Hangul. See you then. Bye-bye. Hi, welcome to the first lesson on learning the consonants and vowels in Hangul. As we mentioned before, Hangul has 19 consonants and 21 vowel letters. And of these, there are 14 basic consonants and 10 basic vowels. And over the next 7 lectures, we're going to focus on learning the 14 basic consonants. In this lesson, we'll focus on the first two, which are kiok and niun. The first consonant letter is called kiok. And kiok is written like this. Kiok is similar to the hard G sound in give and gap. Let's try to make the kiok sound together. And as we do, make sure to look at the letter so that you can make the connection between the sound and the letter. 그, 그, 그. Great. Now I think it's important for us to practice combining the consonants and vowels and reading the syllables together. So that's what we're going to do. And we're going to introduce the vowel letter A. A, as you can probably tell, is similar to the A sound in bag and cat. So when we combine kiok and A, it's 그, A, 그, A, ka, ka. Let's try to read this syllable together. And just as we did before, make sure to look at the syllable as we read the syllable so that you can make the connection between the syllable and the sound. Here we go. Ka, ka. Ka, ka. Ka, ka. That was great. Now let's learn the second consonant, and it's niun, and niun is written like this. Ni은 is basically a flipped over version of kiok, and its sound is similar to N sound in nail and snow. So it's n, n. Let's make that sound together. Repeat after me. N, n, n. Okay, so similar to the previous practice, we'll combine nian and the vowel sound ah. So it's n, ah, n, ah, na, na. Repeat after me. Na, na. Na, na. Na, na. Excellent job. Now let's read the two syllables together. Repeat after me. Kana, kana. Kana, kana. Kana, kana. You're doing really well. Well done. Okay, so in this final practice, you're going to do some independent reading. You're going to read two syllables containing kiok and nian, and you're going to go first, and then you can listen to me reading them to see whether you've read them correctly. Let's go straight into it. Here we go. Kana, kana. Naga, naga. Kaga, kaga. Kana, kana. Nana, nana. Naga, naga. That was fantastic. Well done. Okay, great. So in this lesson, we've learned two consonants, kiok and nian, and we practice reading them by combining with the vowel sound a. In the next lecture, we'll learn two more consonants, so I'll see you then. Bye for now. Hi, welcome back. And this is the second lecture on learning the basic consonants, and we're going to focus on tigut and liul. The first consonant letter is tigut, and it kind of looks like a square with one of its sides missing. Tigut is written like this. Tigut is similar to the D sound in English in day and doctor. So it's d, d. Let's say that together. Repeat after me and make sure to look at the letter as you make the sound. D, d, d. Okay, so similar to the previous lesson, we're going to combine tigut and the vowel sound a and practice reading the syllables. So when we combine tigut and a, it's d, a, d, a, da, da. Let's read that together. Repeat after me. Ta, ta. Ta, ta. Ta, ta. That was great. The second consonant for this lesson is liul, and liul is written like this. Liel is similar to the L sound in lie and snow. So it's L, L. Let's make this sound together. Repeat after me and make sure to look at the consonant letter. L, L, L. Great. So let's do a similar practice. Let's combine liel and the vowel sound a. So it's L, A, L, A, la, la. Repeat after me. La, 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 la. La, la. That's fantastic. Let's read both syllables together. Repeat after me. Tada, 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 tada. That was fantastic. Well done. Okay, so this is the final practice time. Now, in this final practice, we're going to do two independent reading practice. In the first one, we'll practice reading the consonants that we've learned in this lesson. And in the second one, we'll bring back the first two consonants that we learned in the previous lesson and practice everything together. Okay, so let's do the first independent reading practice on 디귿 and 리을.
타다, 타다. 라다, 라다. 타다, 타다. 라다, 라다. 타다, 타다. 타다, 타다.
That was fantastic. Well done. Now, before we get into the second independent reading practice, let's bring back the first two consonants we learned with the vowel letter R and do a couple of listen and repeat practices as a warm-up. Here we go. 가나, 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 가나. That was fantastic. Now let's move on to the second independent reading practice. We're going to practice reading all four syllables together, but we're going to mix them around. So it is going to be a little bit tricky, but let's give it a go. Here we go. Let's start.
가다, 가다. 라나, 라나. 가라, 가라. 타나, 타나. 라다, 라다. 나가, 나가.
That was fantastic. Well done. Okay, so in this lesson, we learned two more basic consonants, which were 디귿 and 리을, and we practiced reading them in syllable forms. So now you can read four basic consonants. Let's continue and learn two more basic consonants in the next lesson. See you then. Bye for now. Hi, welcome to the third lecture on learning the basic consonants in Hangul. In this lecture, we're going to learn two more basic consonants, and they are 미음 and 비읍. The first consonant letter we're going to learn is 미음, and 미음 is written like this. Mium is really easy to remember because it just looks like a square block. Mium is similar to the M sound in English, so it's similar to may and remind. So it's m, m. Let's make that sound together. Repeat after me. M, m, m. That was fantastic. Now, just like in the previous lessons, we're going to combine the consonant letters with the vowel letter R. So it's m, a, m, a, ma, ma. Let's read that together. Repeat after me. Ma, ma. Ma, ma. Ma, ma. That was brilliant. Well done. The second consonant letter in this lesson is piup, and piup is written like this. Now, piup is also kind of easy to remember because it looks like a bunny. I don't know whether you can see the resemblance. And the fact that it resembles a bunny is helpful because piup is similar to the B sound in English, as in buy and bunny. So it's b, b. Let's make that sound together. Repeat after me. B, b, b. That was great. Now let's combine piup and the vowel letter a. So it's b, a, b, a, pa, pa. Let's read that together. Pa, pa. Pa, pa. Pa, pa. Excellent job. Now let's read both syllables together. Repeat after me. Ma ba, ma ba. Ma ba, ma ba. Ma ba, ma ba. That was fantastic. Well done. Okay, so this is the final practice time. And similar to the previous lesson, we're going to do two independent reading practice. The first one on the consonants that we're learning in this lesson. And the second one, a collective practice with all the consonants that we learned in the previous lessons. So let's do the first practice first. Remember that in this practice, you're going to try reading the two syllable combinations by yourself first, and then you can listen to me reading them to see whether you've read them correctly. Let's begin.
Ma ba, ma ba. Pa ma, pa ma. Mama, mama. Pa ba, pa ba. Ma ba, ma ba. Pa ma, pa ma.
That was great. Now, before we get into the second independent reading practice, let's do another warm up and do some listen and repeat of the consonant letters that we learned in the previous two lectures. Listen and repeat after me. Kana, kana. Tara, tara. Kana, kana. Tara, tara. Great, let's try reading all 6 syllables together. Try reading them by yourself first and then listen to me reading them and check whether you've read them correctly. Let's begin.
마라, 마라. 가봐, 가봐. 나다, 나다. 많아, 많아. 라바, 라바. 다가, 다가.
Fantastic job, well done. So in today's lesson, we learned 2 more basic consonants, which were 미음 and 피읍. And we practiced reading them in syllable forms using the vowel letter A. Now, we've learned 6 of the 14 basic consonants, and there are 8 more to go. So we'll learn 2 more basic consonants in the next lesson. I'll see you soon again. Bye for now. Hi there, and welcome to the 4th lesson on learning the basic consonants in Korean. In this lesson, we're going to learn 2 more basic consonants, and they are 시옷 and 이응. The first consonant is 시옷, and it's written like this. 시옷 is traditionally written with 1 longer stroke and a shorter stroke supporting the other. But in modern Korean, a lot of people, and also word processors like Word, will show fonts where it looks like a triangle without a base. 시옷 is similar to the S or the SH sound in smile or shower. It sounds like S, S. Let's make that sound. Repeat after me. S, S, S. Great, same as before, we'll combine 시옷 and the vowel letter R and practice reading the syllable. So it's S, A, S, A, 사, 사. Repeat after me. 사, 사. 사, 사. 사, 사. Fantastic job. Well done. The 8th consonant that we're going to learn is 이응, and 이응 is written like this. 이응 is a unique consonant in Korean, and a lot of textbooks call this the nothing sound or the placeholder. And the reason why we have 이응 in Korean is that Korean syllables cannot be written with a vowel letter. In English, words can begin with a vowel letter, so we can have words like er and end. However, Korean syllables must begin with a consonant letter. So if we were to write the word er phonetically in Korean, we would write er, 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 er. And as you can see, each syllable begins with a consonant letter 이응 as a placeholder. Okay, so we're going to practice reading 이응, but since 이응 doesn't have a sound, we're going to combine it with a vowel letter R and practice reading the syllable straight away. So it's R, R. Repeat after me. R, R. R, R. R, R. That was great. Now let's practice reading 2 syllables together, which contain the consonants 시옷 and 이응. 사아, 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 사아. Fantastic job, well done. In this final practice, we're going to do 2 independent reading practices. The first one on the consonants that we've learned in this lesson, and the second one on all the consonants that we've learned so far. So we're going to do the first one, but remember that this is an independent reading practice. So you're going to have to read first and then listen to me reading them. Let's begin. You can do it.
사아, 사아. 아사, 아사. 사사, 사사. 아아, 아아. 사아, 사아. 아사, 아사.
Fantastic job. Now, before we move on to the second independent reading practice, let's do a little listen and repeat practice with the 6 consonants that we've learned so far. Listen and repeat after me. 가나, 가나. 달아, 달아. 마바, 마바. 가나, 가나. 달아, 달아. 마바, 마바. That was great. Now we're going to do the second independent reading practice, but remember, you're going to practice reading 8 consonants together. So it is going to be a little bit tricky, but I'm sure you can do it. Let's give it a go.
가사, 가사. 아나, 아나. 라다, 라다. 바사, 바사. 마아, 마아. 나사, 나사.
Excellent job, well done. That was really tricky, but you did really well. So in today's lesson, we learned 2 more basic consonants, which are 시옷 and 이응. And we practice reading them in syllable forms by combining them with the vowel letter R. Now, before we move on to learning another 2 basic consonants, we have a review lesson coming up on the 8 consonants that we've learned so far. So I'll see you then. Bye for now. Hi there, welcome to the review lesson on the 8 basic consonants that we've covered so far. Let's go straight into it. Okay, let's review the first 4 basic consonants, which were 기역, 니은, 디귿, and 리을. We're going to combine these consonants with the vowel letter R and practice reading them in syllable forms. Let's do some listen and repeat practice first. Here we go. 가나, 가나. 달아, 달아. 가나, 가나. 달아, 달아. Okay, now let's do some independent reading practice on these 4 basic consonants. Try reading the 2 syllable combinations by yourself and then listen to me reading them. Let's begin.
가나, 가나. 달아, 달아. nada, nada. Laga, laga. Kada, kada. Lana, lana.
That was fantastic. Well done. Okay, next review the next 4 basic consonants, which are 미음, 비읍, 시옷, and 이응. Again, we're going to combine these consonants with a vowel letter R and do listen and repeat practice first. Let's begin. 마바, 마바. 사아, 사아. 마바, 마바. 사아, 사아. Great, now let's do some independent reading practice. Try reading the 2-syllable combinations by yourself and then listen to me reading them. Here we go.
마바, 마바. 사아, 사아. 아바, 아바. 마사, 마사. 아마, 아마. 사바, 사바.
That was fantastic. Well done. So in this final practice, we're going to review all 8 consonants together, and there are going to be 2 independent reading practices. The first one is a 2-syllable combination reading practice, and the second one, which will be quite tricky, is a 3-syllable combination reading practice. So let's get straight into the first one. Try reading the 2-syllable combinations, and then listen to me reading them. Let's begin.
가나, 가나. 타사, 타사. 마라, 마라. 아바, 아바. 사마, 사마. 아나, 아나.
That was fantastic. Well done. Now let's try a 3-syllable combination reading practice. This is going to be a little bit tricky. So the first 2 lines are going to be listen and repeat practice, and the remaining 6 will be independent reading practice. Are you ready? Let's begin. 가나다, 가나다. 라아사, 라아사.
마나바, 마나바. 라다사, 라다사. 바가마, 바가마. 나가라, 나가라. 마아타, 마아타. 라바사, 라바사.
Great effort on doing that. Fantastic. Well done. It's always good to do a review of everything we're learning because it helps us to remember things in the long run. And as we continue learning Hangul in this course, we will revisit the consonants and vowels throughout the course. So there will be more practice of everything we're learning. But for now, let's move on and continue learning the basic consonants in Hangul. I'll see you soon again. Bye for now. Hello there, and welcome to another lesson on learning the basic consonants in Korean. In this lesson, we're going to learn two more basic consonants, and they are 지읒 and 치읒. The first consonant that we're going to learn is 치읒, and 치읒 is written like this. 치읒 is quite similar to 시옷, but it's got a flat hat on top of 시옷. Its sound is similar to J in juice and job. So it's j, j. Let's practice making that sound. Repeat after me. j, j, j. That was great. Now let's combine 치읒 with the vowel letter R and practice reading 치읒 in a syllable form. So it's j, a, j, a, cha, cha. Repeat after me. cha, cha. cha, cha. cha, cha. That was fantastic. Well done. Now let's learn the second consonant in this lesson, and it's 치읒. 치읒 is written like this. 치읒 looks a lot like 치읒, except that it's got a little stick on top of it. So you should be able to remember this one quite easily. Now, as its name would suggest, 치읒 makes a CH sound in child or tree. Let's make that sound together. So it's ch, ch. Repeat after me. ch, ch, ch. Great. Now let's combine 치읒 with the vowel letter R. So it's ch, a, ch, a, cha, cha. Repeat after me. cha, cha. cha, cha. cha, cha. That was fantastic. Now let's practice reading both syllables from this lesson together. Repeat after me. cha, cha. cha, cha. cha, cha. Excellent job. Well done. Okay, so in this final practice, we're going to do one independent reading practice on the consonants 치읒 and 치읒. Have a go at reading the two syllable combinations by yourself, and then listen to me reading them. Let's begin.
차차, 차차. 찾아, 찾아. 찾아, 찾아. 차차, 차차. 찾아, 찾아. 차차, 차차.
That was fantastic. Well done. So in this lesson, we learned two more basic consonants, and they were 치읒 and 치읒. And we practiced reading them in syllable forms with the vowel letter R. Now we have 4 more basic consonants to go, and in the next lesson we'll learn 2 more, which are kiuk and tiut. And I'll see you in that lesson. Bye for now. Hi there, welcome to another lesson on learning the basic consonants in Hangul. In this lesson, we're going to learn 2 more basic consonants, and they are kiuk and tiut. The first consonant is kiuk, and kiuk is written like this. Kiuk looks a lot like kiuk, but it has an extra dash in the middle. Its sound is similar to K in kick and koala, so it's k, k. Let's practice saying that. Repeat after me. K, k, k. Great, let's combine kiuk and the vowel a, so it's k, a, k, a, ka, ka. Repeat after me. Ka, ka. Ka, ka. Ka, ka. That was great, well done. The second consonant we're going to learn is tiut. Tiut is written like this. Tiut looks a lot like tigut, but like kiuk, it has an extra dash in the middle. Tiut sound is similar to T in table and meter, so it's t, t. Let's practice making that sound. Repeat after me. T, t, t. Great, let's combine tiut with the vowel a, so it's t, a, t, a, ta, ta. Repeat after me. Ta, ta. Ta, ta. Ta, ta. Fantastic job. Now let's practice with both syllables containing the consonants we're learning. Repeat after me. Ka, ta, ka, ta. Ka, ta, ka, ta. Ka, ta, ka, ta. That was fantastic, well done. Okay, so it's final practice time. We're going to do 2 independent reading practices. The first one is on the consonants that we learned in this lesson, and the second one will be a combined practice with the consonants that we learned in the previous lesson. Remember, this is an independent reading practice, so you're going to try reading by yourself first and then listen to me reading them. Let's begin with the first one.
Kata, kata. Taka, taka. Kaka, kaka. Taka, taka. Tata, tata. Kata, kata.
That was great. Now, before we move on to the second independent reading practice, let's do a listen and repeat practice of the consonants that we learned in the previous lesson, which were chiut and chiut. Repeat after me. 차, 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 차. 차, 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 차. That was great. Let's go straight into the second independent reading practice. Try reading the lines by yourself first, and then listen to me reading the lines. Here we go.
가자, 가자. 차 타, 차 타. 타자, 타자. 카차, 카차. 자카, 자카. 타차, 타차.
That was fantastic. Well done again. So in this lesson, we learned two more basic consonants, which were kiuk and tiut. And we practiced reading them in syllable forms with the vowel letter R. The next lesson is the final lesson on learning the basic consonants in Korean, and we're going to learn piup and hyung. So I'll see you soon again. Bye-bye. Hi there, welcome back. And this is the final lesson on learning the basic consonants in Korean. In this lesson, we're going to learn piup and hyut. The first consonant we're going to learn is piup. Piup is written like this. A simple way to remember piup is to imagine a ladder that's been flipped around sideways. Now, piup is similar to P in pie and lapel, so it's pa, pa. Let's make that sound. Repeat after me. Pa, pa, pa. That was great. Now let's combine piup and the vowel letter R, so it's p, a, p, a, pa, pa. Repeat after me. Pa, pa. Pa, pa. Pa, pa. That was fantastic. Well done. The second consonant we're going to learn is hyut, and hyut is written like this. Now the easiest way to remember hyut is to imagine an iung with a hat on. That normally helps remember hyut. Hyut is similar to H in hat and house, so it's h, h. Repeat after me. H, h, h. That was great. Now let's combine hyut with the vowel letter R, so it's h, a, h, a, ha, ha. Repeat after me. Ha, ha. Ha, ha. Ha, ha. That was great. Now let's practice reading the syllables containing the consonants that we've been learning in this lesson. Repeat after me. Pa, ha, pa, ha. Pa, ha, pa, ha. Pa, ha, pa, ha. Fantastic job. Well done. Okay, so it's final practice time. And in this final practice, we're going to do 2 independent reading practices. The first one on the consonants that we learned in this lesson. And the second one by bringing back the consonants from the previous 2 lessons and doing a combined practice. Let's get into the first one. This is an independent reading practice, so you go first and then listen to me reading them. Let's begin.
파하, 파하. 하파, 하파. 하하, 하하. 파파, 파파. 하파, 하파. 파하, 파하.
That was great, well done. Now, before we move on to the second independent reading practice, let's do a listen and repeat practice of the 4 consonants from the previous 2 lessons. This is a listen and repeat, so let's begin. 차, 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 차. 카, 타, 카, 타. 차, 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 차. 카, 타, 카, 타. That was great. Now this is the second independent reading practice on the 6 basic consonants from the previous 3 lessons. Try reading the lines by yourself first and then listen to me reading them. Let's begin.
자카, 자카. 타하, 타하. 파차, 파차. 카타, 카타. 하파, 하파. 찾아, 찾아.
You did really well today. Well done. In this lesson, we learned the last 2 basic consonants, piep and hiet, and we practiced reading them in syllable forms by combining them with the vowel letter R. Now that's it for the basic consonants, but before we move on to the vowels, let's do a review of the 6 basic consonants that we've been learning since the previous review lesson. I'll see you in that lesson. Bye for now. Hi there and welcome to the review lesson. Now in this lesson, we're going to review 6 basic consonants, and they are chiet, chiet, kiek, tiet, and piep and hiet. Let's get into it. The first pair of consonants that we're going to review are chiet and chiet. Let's combine these consonants with the vowel letter R and do some listen and repeat practice first. Here we go. Cha, 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 cha. Cha, 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 cha. Cha, 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 cha. Okay, now let's do an independent reading practice. Try reading the lines by yourself first and then listen to me reading them to see whether you've read them correctly. Let's begin.
차차, 차차. 찾아, 찾아. 차차, 차차. 차차, 차차.
Great job, well done. The second pair of consonants that we're going to review are kiuk and tiut. And as before, let's combine these consonants with the vowel letter R and do a listen and repeat practice. Let's begin. Kata, kata. Kata, kata. Kata, kata. Great. Now let's do an independent reading practice of these syllables containing the consonants kiuk and tiut. Try to read the lines by yourself first and then listen to me reading them.
Kata, kata. Taka, taka. Kaka, kaka. Kata, kata.
Fantastic job. Well done. Okay, so these are the last pair of consonants that we're going to review, which we learned in the previous lesson, so it shouldn't be that difficult. These consonants are piup and hiut. Now, let's first begin with a listen and repeat practice by combining them with the vowel letter R. Here we go. Paha, paha. Paha, paha. Paha, paha. That was great. As we did with other consonants, let's now do an independent reading practice. Read the lines by yourself first and then listen to me reading them to check whether you've read them correctly. Let's begin.
Paha, paha. Hapa, hapa. Papa, papa. Hapa, hapa.
Fantastic job. Well done. In this final practice, we're going to do two independent reading practices. The first one is a two-syllable combination reading practice, and the second one, which will be a little bit tricky, a three-syllable reading combination. Let's begin with the first one. Here we go.
Chaka, chaka. Taha, taha. Pacha, pacha. Haja, haja. Chata, chata. Kappa, kappa.
That was fantastic. Well done. Now the second independent reading practice is going to be a little bit tricky. It's a three-syllable combination reading practice. But have a go at reading the lines by yourself first and then listen to me to see whether you've read them correctly. Let's begin.
Hapacha, hapacha. Chakata, chakata. Tapaja, tapaja. Chahaka, chahaka. Pachaha, pachaha. Kajapa, kajapa.
Great job. It's difficult reading three-syllable combinations, but you did really well. So that's it. We've finished learning 14 basic consonants in Korean. As you progress through the course, there will be many more opportunities for you to practice what you have learned so far. But for now, let's move on and start learning vowels in Korean. See you soon again. Bye for now.